Hello, glider pilots. I'm Jeff. I'm a professional pilot and a Gold SEAL flight instructor. And I wanted to talk about this catch-22 that I keep seeing people fall victim to. I thought that this was kind of a niche topic, and I wasn't going to talk about it so soon, but I keep seeing it happening, and it just happened last week to one of my clients. So I wanted to talk about this. This is fairly easy to overcome, but people just don't know how to do it. Okay, are you a person who is returning to flying? Are you switching over to gliders or even another type of flying? Or are you someone who's been denied a medical certificate? Okay, we're going to call somebody, our person Ryan, because that's his name. This happened to Ryan. He got caught in this catch-22. Ryan already had his private pilot's license for airplanes, and he wanted to add on his glider license, a glider rating. He joined the Tucson Soaring Club, and he started flying gliders. But there was a problem as he got closer to getting closer to his check ride. You see, Ryan already had his private pilot's license. He was no longer a student pilot. And as is normal, he'd gotten busy with his life. He had his engineering career. He got married and had some kids. And now he'd been away from flying. His flight review had lapsed. And as a private pilot, you have to have a flight review in order to exercise your privileges. It's true for any level pilot certificate. You have to have a flight review. So now he couldn't fly solo in gliders because he couldn't act as PIC. Let's take a look at the reg on that. FAR, in the Federal Aviation Regulations, FAR 6156, no person may act as pilot in command of an aircraft, less than 24 calendar months, that's your 2 years. That person has accomplished a flight review in an aircraft for which the pilot is rated. He didn't have a glider rating. He only had an airplane rating. So now he couldn't act as pilot in command in a glider to get his solo and PIC time required to get his glider license because he didn't have a flight review. So that's the catch-22 that people keep bumping up against. Ryan needed a flight review to get a new glider rating, but Ryan couldn't get a flight review in gliders because he didn't have the rating. This is even worse when somebody has been denied a medical certificate. Now they have to go get a medical to go fly an airplane so that way they're allowed then to go fly gliders. So this is what Ryan did. This is the hard way. It worked out for him. It's okay. Ryan went to fly with one of our DPEs, who's also a airplane CFI. They went to our local Towered Airport to go fly. They took out an old Piper Cub, original old Piper Cub. Had to hand prop it to start the engine, and they taxied out towards the runway. Before they could even get to the runway, the Piper Cub's engine died on the taxiway. And so they had to get out of the Cub on a taxiway, and they were trying to hand prop it to get it started again. And the tower did not like this. They said it was a safety issue and that they would not be allowed to hand prop it there. I don't know if the tower has the authority to do this, but that is what they did tell them. So they ended up putting the Cub away, and then on a different time, they came out and they used, I think it was a Cessna 172, and they were able to do a flight review for Ryan. This all adds extra time and cost to Ryan's glider goals. He wanted to fly gliders. He's practicing skills in an aircraft that he doesn't intend to fly, and it's adding extra time and effort and cost onto his certificate. This is a big distraction. He's got to schedule this. He's got to do all this other stuff. If he has to get a medical, he also had to get a medical in order to be able to do this. And in Ryan's case, he's a younger guy, and it wasn't a problem. But there are some people who getting a medical is not so easy for. They can't get a medical anymore. Now they're stuck. Or are they? Let's read the rest of that regulation. Here's the easy way to get out of it. Okay, let's go back. Flight review. Except, now let's read it. Except as provided in paragraph E. You have to have a flight review, except as provided in paragraph E. Let's take a look at paragraph E. A person who has, within the period specified, satisfactorily accomplished one or more phases of an FAA-sponsored pilot proficiency program need not accomplish the flight review. So if you accomplish a phase of the FAA-sponsored pilot proficiency program, you don't have to have a flight review. It's right there in the regulation. CFIs do not know this trick. Designated pilot examiners, DPEs, don't know this trick. It was a DPE that did that flight review with Ryan. Okay? But we can do this really easily. The FAA knows that this is a catch-22, and they've created a way to get around it. What is the FAA's pilot proficiency program? WINGS. It's WINGS. It's the WINGS program. Go to FAAsafety.gov. Okay? This is what it looks like when you go there. You're going to do the WINGS program. Log in, create an account, okay, if you haven't already. Okay, and then what you do is you do a search for all the different activities that you can do. Okay, glider student activity is the name of this one. Okay, and one of these exists for every type of flying. Okay, rotorcraft student activity, that's for helicopters. Lighter than air, that's balloons. Student activity. Don't let the word student activity phase you, though. A lot of people look at that student activity and they get all concerned. This accredited activity is available to all airmen. Doesn't say student, doesn't say certificated. It says all airmen. And then look. For the WINGS program, in order to complete a phase in WINGS, you need 3 flight credits and 3 knowledge credits. Each one of these glider student activity, and this is true for airplane student activity, helicopter student activity, all of them, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It counts as a flight review, and you can do it as in gliders or whichever type of aviation you're trying to move over to. Okay? You just have to complete 3 hours of ground training noted in the credits based on the materials and guidance listed below. And what do they list below? Glider Flying Handbook. They list the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge, the PHAK. Okay? And you have to do it. And hey, look, there's the ACS or PTS. PTS is still for gliders. Okay? Demonstrate proficiency of the flight topics noted in the credits. Okay? They're saying just do basic stuff. Okay? This is stuff that you're already doing as you're learning gliders. You're already doing ground-based learning, knowledge learning, and you're already practicing maneuvers, the flight maneuvers, okay? You just have to complete 3 knowledge and 3 flight credits from the PTS. Let's look at that one more time. Realize, look, these topics, topic 1, 2, 3, doesn't say hours, it says that. And remember, a credit, to get those credits validated, they don't have to be an hour. Let's look at the Wings user guide, okay, on page 16, okay? You should know that an activity valued at 1 credit does not necessarily equal 1 hour of flight training. Your CFI decides when you have successfully completed this activity and can, in most cases, be shorter than 1 hour of flight time. Doesn't even have, you just have to get those 3 credits when you work with your CFI. You have to do all this preparation anyway. You're gonna get enough information, enough experience, both knowledge stuff on the ground and flight experience in the air, okay, to do this. And the FAA is even trying to give you a help. They're saying, hey, look, this flexibility, okay, makes the Wings effort not much more expensive than a standard flight review. They even say, nod, nod, wink, wink, flight review, okay? Use your training that you're already doing to get those credits. And then you work with your CFI. You have to click on the request credit button. It'll send an email to your instructor. They will validate the credits. And the most important thing of all this is it's not going to derail your training. You don't have to get a medical. You don't have to go fly an old aircraft that you may not have flown in years or even decades. You don't have to waste time. And I have seen this slow people down, like in the case of Ryan, where he goes the hard way. I've seen people in our glider club who've been away from aviation for years and years come back. And when they saw this rule, they thought they were done. And they left. And they never kept flying gliders. They stopped entirely because they realized, because they thought they couldn't get their license. And that's the worst thing of all. So I've seen it happen 3 times in the last several years to people just in my glider club. So I know it's happening everywhere else. And there is a very easy way to get over this. And I don't want to see people continue to be slowed down or even stopped, which is terrible. Okay. Anyway, so if you found this useful, please give a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have seen this in your glider club, please leave a comment down below. If people know about this elsewhere, please let me know in the comments down below. And we can, but we need to publicize that this is a very easy way to get over this, and this is stopping people from progressing in gliders. So thanks for your time, everybody, and have a good one.